Welcome back to Podcast Unlocked's coverage of the Microsoft and Bethesda Showcase. Now, we got lots of great reveals and announcements today. One of the biggest one broke the rule of the entire show of, oh, this is the next 12 months of Xbox. There was one thing at the end that wasn't, and that was Hideo Kojima. Stella, this is a big, Xbox fans have been wanting to see Kojima on their platform for a long time. We don't know anything about the video game yet, but what do you, what could this possibly, it's going to be a while. We know that much.
It's going to be more spooky stuff, so yay. But I'm really excited. It's been really good to see Kojima just kind of lean into his full creative mind, and he seems really excited to be working on his next project. So honestly, whatever announcements slowly come out, I hope they come out on his terms and aren't leaks, and he gets to take his time and fully create what it is that he's envisioning, because I want to be able to see what he's going to create. He has such an interesting mind that I want to be able to see what he's creating in the format that he wants to reveal it.
Destin, we have a code name for this, do we not, that leaked?
I don't remember the code name.
Overdose, correct?
Yes, Overdose,
yes.
You're right. But I do find it interesting that he brings up the cloud aspect at Microsoft, because Microsoft has really been working on their cloud technology, and the long-running rumor was that Kojima and Kim Swift, who helped work on the Google Stadia platform, are partnering.
And Portal before that, by the way.
And Creative Portal, of course.
Resume.
Yeah, are partnering to develop whatever this new project is. So he does admit that it's going to take some time, but being on the Xbox stage and saying I'm making a whole new thing with Microsoft as a partner is a big deal, because Kojima has traditionally been associated with Sony PlayStation.
Right. Miranda, this is Kojima's at the point in his career that he's earned where you don't give him notes. He just has an idea and he runs with it. So, it's hard to, it's impossible to predict what this project could even be.
Yes, I will say, I hope the promotion cycle for this is similar to Death Stranding, because it was just very interesting in a fun way, right? I felt like every time that there was some sort of trailer or information drop, it was something to dissect and to decipher and to figure out exactly what's happening. And then when we got the game itself, it was something that was really unique, honestly. I think, the Strand game, right? The idea of oh, you're playing through this game, but you have echoes of literally other people's platforms or structures bleeding into yours, and they can throw you health packs and boss fights. I really enjoyed Death Stranding. And so I'm excited to see what Kojima sees in the potential for cloud. I'm obviously a game developer, and I think there's a lot that we've seen as far as concepts and ideas for cloud gaming. And so I'm even more curious to see what he wants to accomplish that with a really great team behind him as well.
Well, Kojima's last appearance on the Xbox platform was Metal Gear Solid 5. So by the time this game comes out, it'll probably have been a decade since Xbox gamers last got to spend some time with a Kojima creation. So a big thing we talked about in the pre-show was, what does Xbox have any big exclusives for 2022? Thankfully, we now have a list, and I thought it would be good to come full circle here and focus on that list, and I appreciate our behind-the-scenes team pulling up. Phil Spencer brought this graphic up, and I just it went right by, so I'm glad we can just stare at this for a minute. Of course, the monitor's too far away for me to read that.
Can't read it.
But there was one there, thank you. Oh, one of our great production team we have.
Not all exclusive.
Correct.
Yeah. But the game on this, so I want to hit the highlights. Although the one when this screen did come up that jumped out at me was Somerville, because that's from some of the creators of Limbo and Inside. And we had a Somerville trailer on the Xbox Showcase last year. So if you're not familiar with it, just go dig that up after the show, and you'll see, oh yeah, this looks really good. But the highlights, so 2022 big stuff for meaning exclusive on Xbox. We have High on Life, which that was one of my favorite things of this entire show. Justin Roiland.
Yes. I'm so excited.
I had when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's like the Rick and Morty thing. Oh, okay, it could be cool. I watched a few seasons of that. I liked it. It's just so weird. I love it. It just screams creativity, and also the guns are kind of maybe screaming at you too, and that's I'm fine with that.
Destin, it's a comedy first-person shooter, which there aren't a lot of those that exist.
At first, I was like, oh, I'm not really going to be into this, but as the trailer went on, I'm like, okay, the guns are sort of funny. There's some humor there. It's really gory. It's weird but fun, and I came away, surprisingly, having it as a notable game on my list of games that I enjoyed.
The art direction on this is fantastic. It's Unreal Engine. It's Justin Roiland's sense of humor, which I just have I've always vibed with. I
Yeah.
think his stuff is hilarious. So, and that's out this year, and that is a console exclusive on Xbox. So that was a good one. And then we already know about, it wasn't in the showcase, but Warhammer 40K Darktide.
Oh, yeah.
Which,
So exciting.
yeah, I have a preview of that hitting IGN. I think it's tomorrow. So we've got that in September. Now, Destin, a Plaguetail Requiem.
Yes.
That's another one that, like, it's been kind of quiet for a bit, but it's out this year.
Yeah, Plague Tale is out on Xbox Game Pass if you want to play through the original, and it looks like this is a sequel that takes place a few years later. And I really, really enjoyed the first one. I'm excited to see how they're focusing on stealth this time around, forcing you to like creep in the shadows a little bit more, but you actually have more abilities. You've learned a lot from the first game. And we have seen already that there are much more open areas that you're going to be exploring. And it is definitely one that has been on my list to keep an eye on, and I'm really happy that it's coming to Game Pass day one.
Also in 2022 on Xbox, a bunch of DLC. So the next Flight Sim expansion, which looked gorgeous. The Hot Wheels DLC for Forza Horizon 5,
sure.
yes.
Fun.
Yeah.
The Pit for Fallout 76. The Season 7 of Sea of Thieves. But Miranda, another back to the list of full games.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring this one up with you specifically because I know how much you love disgusting body horror, gross games like Scorn, which we got a date for October 21st.
You see, I don't mind body horror, but with Scorn, like you can hear, like without even listening, you can hear the slurping and gurgling of weird things.
Stella, Grounded is
Yeah.
finally getting a full and proper release, and that will be out this fall as well. That's, in fact, September.
Yeah, that is a great game. And I remember, actually, it's so funny, Destin, my boss, if you guys don't know, he was like, Stella, I need you to grab this game real quick.
Yeah.
That's how you talk. Yeah.
Okay. I'll work on that. Yeah.
But yeah, he was like, I need you to grab, a preview of this. And I remember specifically, I was like, oh, this is the game with the giant spiders. I'm not a big fan of that. But honestly, even with the spiders and creepy stuff, I was like, this is a great game. Why am I here? This is so cool. And I'm a huge fan of Minecraft and survival games. So being able to play something that was kind of cute, like you could eat acorns and like gather water from leaves and stuff. I'm like, this is so cute. This is a great world. So the fact that it's finally coming out of preview, which by the way, I am so glad to see games actually do that because for the longest time, I know Ark was announced today too. Like Ark for the longest time was in early access and the beta. And when it finally launched, everyone was like, well, we're tired of this. We've seen this through development. There's nothing new at release. So I'm so glad that they kept the preview very short as they did. And now it's full release. And I'm like, there's so much more. So I'm very happy to see this actually fully released.
Yeah, and I'm eager to dive into it and see what the full game is. This is something to look forward to from Obsidian. So we'll get some serious love from Obsidian in this showcase. So we've got like a minute before our next segment here. Real quick, Miranda, I'm going to start with you. Of these 2022 exclusives that we just talked about, what's the standout for you? What are you most looking forward to playing from this list?
High on Life.
Yes.
That was really funny.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm actually pretty surprised by this, but also kind of excited that Riot's partnering with Game Pass. That's this winter, I believe, but that's a pretty big deal if you guys didn't know how much all the League Champions cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. High on Life. That's probably number one for me on this list too.